What's up everyone, my name is Dennis, the creator of Blockstudio, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to find out if you can use other custom field solutions inside your blocks made with Blockstudio. It is actually one of the questions that I get the most, and the answer is yes, of course. Since Blockstudio's templates are PHP based, you can really do anything in them. But we'll be having a closer look into how a possible integration would look like and what we have to consider when we want to display custom fields of other plugins. For this example, we'll be using advanced custom fields today. And as you can see, I've already set up a few things. So we have FAQ repeater that is simply just repeating a question and answer, and also a subtitle field that displays on the sample page. So I've already filled that with some data here. And on the Blockstudio side, we have also a custom repeater field that is displaying the exact same data as we do in ACF. So it's basically a question and answer pair. So let's jump into the editor and just fill some data into our block. Was the custom fields one, and I'm gonna add one question here with one answer, and the second one with a second answer. Now, pretty simple rendering template. It's just a details element, which is a basic accordion. So if we go back to the rendering template here, you'll see that we grab the FAQ from the attributes and loop through them, with each question being in the summary tag and the answer rendered outside of that. Now the goal is to render either. So remember, we have our ACF global repeater FAQ here, and we want to somehow choose between, right? So we have the same data structure, and it would be nice to choose from either the local data from the block or the global data from ACF. So let's just quickly do a check if our data from ACF is correct. So we would have to do, let's get fields, and we called it FAQ again, and it's option. And then just swap that out here for FAQ ACF. And we can already see that this is being fetched correctly. Nice. You can also save that and go back to the sample page, and you'll see that the data from ACF is being rendered inside of our block. Now, obviously the local block data is being ignored right now, since we're using the data from ACF. So let's build a little toggle that lets us switch between. Let's jump back into our block.json, and I already have the field in my clipboard actually. I'm just going to copy it here. And as you can see, I've actually decided against a checkbox or a toggle and for a select field. And this is because select fields are just a little bit more flexible, especially when you want to add more options in the future, right? At the moment, there's only local and global, but if you have more sources coming in the future, it's wiser to just start with a select from the very beginning. And let's just put a label into here as well, which is going to be source. And we see that it's local or global. Now, before we jump into the rendering template, let's set one more thing, and that is the default value for the source. And we want that to always default to the local data from the block, which will be that repeater down here with the FAQ ID. So jump back here. We have to implement the logic that will switch between the two sources. So we say source is attributes source, and can leave the FAQ, maybe just copy this one and say if the source is local, render the data from the block, otherwise give us the global ACF options. And we have to switch that as well. It's not exactly now, it only applied the local, the default value after saving. And obviously displays nothing here right now because we haven't set any example data, but we won't be doing that now. Let's just jump back into Gutenberg and check if it's working. And yes, it is. As you can see, we can switch between the global and local data now. I think we shouldn't be showing that the local FAQ data when the source is set to global. So let's just fix that quickly. And for that, we're going to use conditions, which is pretty straightforward. So we just jump back to our FAQ repeater field and set the condition, or one condition, which is going to be, we want to select the ID of source. So if the source equals, so if the source is a value, then it should hide or show. Yes, we leave it like that. And we say if the value is local, it should only show. So in theory, sorry, this is supposed to be the operator. And now it should correctly hide the FAQ if we select the global select option. So let's save that again. Let's have another quick check in the editor. And it's also not showing just how we want it. So we've also set up a custom field earlier called subtitle inside ACF. So let's fill that with some content. Subtitle of my page. Obviously, it's not rendering anywhere since it's not inside of our rendering template. So let's fix that quickly. And we're just going to say if get field subtitle, it should render a h2 tag, and inside here echo the get field. You can probably put that subtitle, put that into its own variable, subtitle, like so. And then we can swap that with subtitle and do the same here, subtitle. That'll fix the error. Now let's check if that worked, and it's not showing for some reason. However, if we update that and go to the actual page, you'll see that the subtitle is rendering. So the subtitle field that we set in ACF is rendering on the front end, but not in the editor. And this is actually, there's a simple reason behind that. The problem is that the block doesn't have the post context, so it doesn't know which page to fetch that field from. Usually you don't have to specify the post ID when you're using ACF in different scenarios. However, in blocks, you need to do that. You also need to do that with ACF blocks. So let's just do this. Simply add the post ID here, and with that, it will also render the subtitle field that we specified with ACF in our block. Save that. Now there's one more thing to consider here, and that is the updating of the block when you're changing a custom field or post meta field that isn't actually part of the block. So if we change this to my updated title and save the post, you'll see that the block is actually not showing the new value, but still has the old one. This is because when post meta or custom fields are getting updated, Blockstudio is actually not requesting a new version from the server, and that's why old data is being shown. So if we would change the source here to global, Blockstudio would do a request to the server and then return the new contents of the block, which will then also include the updated subtitle. As you can see, obviously we have no data in here because the FAQ repeater is empty. It's not really ideal. However, Blockstudio also has a solution for that, which is very simple to implement. All you have to do is go to your block JSON and set the refresh on value here to save. So whenever we update or whenever we save the post in the editor, the block is being refetched from the server and will then update any values that have been changed. So if we go to the page and say, this is my newest subtitle, if we press save or update now, it should fetch a new version of the block and show the updated value of our field in the block as well. Yay. And it did. So yeah, another quick one today. I think the techniques that I showed are applicable to other custom field solutions as well, not just ACF. And I hope that it made sense to you, answered some questions. As always, like and subscribe, and see you next time.